From the outside looking in, this might seem like it's still quite a bit of money, considering what Johnny Depp required from the ACLU, because at the end of the day, this was just about producing some documents. But when you factor in that the ACLU had initially asked for $85,000 for literally just Xeroxing some readily available documents, like instead of having four high-priced individuals on something as simple as either like a secretary, an intern, for Christ's sakes, somebody in a very low-ranking position, okay, somebody who wasn't billing out, what, $5,700 for 17 hours of work? Like, just the wild numbers of hours that these different people were attributing to just simply producing some documents. It seemed a bit outlandish. This was the ACLU motion to get some legal fees cleaned up, and this came out in on or around the time of the verdict during Amber Heard Johnny Depp, right? But this was outstanding, okay? This motion, and kind of the decision at the end of the day, because obviously it's like this seemed exorbitant, okay? And I'll link to the entire document. It's realistically only 4 pages long, but still, what's important right here is just the breakdown, right? Because you had two full-fledged attorneys, right? One spent 78.5 hours charging out at a shade over $500 an hour for a total of $39,000. Okay, $39,000 for 79 hours of 2 full weeks of work. For what exactly? When everybody else was charging out, okay, so you had the senior associate who shouldn't have had anything to do with this at all whatsoever. It's literally, like I've been saying, producing documents. So why do you have to have one of your senior associates at the ACLU on this? That just seems ridiculous. It just seems like it was a license to print money, okay? Listen, oh, you're going to make us go through our record bank and produce some documents? Well, we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to charge you as much as we possibly can. At, a shade under $800 an hour for 39 hours, okay? When you also had a support manager and a support analyst on this as well, and they're only charging out 17 and 31 hours, like, you could have had the support analyst do that in all of this time, right? And that would have saved everybody a whole bunch of money. But I don't know how busy the ACLU is, because they aren't doing, anything like protecting anybody's right to free speech or anything like that. This isn't the old ACLU. This is current day ACLU, where you're not a liberal in Western society sense, not like the traditional term. It's kind of like the ACLU used to stand for something. Liberal used to stand for something, where we're talking about the colloquial, the usage of liberal in today's day and age. No, if you don't hold their talking points, the Constitution don't really apply to you. So it seems like a lot of money right there. $38,000 Johnny Depp owes the ACLU for attorney's fees for providing evidence for fight with Amber Heard, judge rules. Yeah, you got a $50,000 haircut. This seems pretty good. Okay, I would consider that. I would definitely chalk that up to yet another victory in the court of law for Johnny Depp. I was looking for some more information when it came to the other legal suit that's going to be coming out. I guess now it's going to be closer to the end of this month. Boy, this year is just flying by. But even still, once more information on that comes out, I might do a primer on that case as well. But right now, we'll just break down this ruling, because it took a long time, because, this went to court a couple weeks ago. So looking at that breakdown, realizing that it looks like you guys were charging like way too much money. Okay, $38,000, still pretty steep, but significantly less. All right, actor Johnny Depp owes the American Civil Liberties Union $38,000 for attorney's fees in complying with the subpoena for evidence. Yeah, they were forced by the courts to do something. Now, because there's a couple of those pesky amendments in the teens that say that you can't compel anybody to do anything without, paying them. So, and of course, right, if you're told to be doing something by the government, by extrapolation, the court as well, you should be compensated for your effort. But don't be taking advantage of that. And that's why they ended up going to court over that, okay? I guess the ACLU, you know what? Hey, they were kind of relying on this one pledge that's currently outstanding for some funds. So maybe that's why they were asking for so much. I don't know. Me thinks that. The award amounted to less than half of the fees that the ACLU requested. Yeah, it took them long enough to get to that. Didn't mention that in the headline or anything like that, but it was less than half they want. Attorneys, like taxes, are a fact of life. Ugh, said Manhattan Supreme Court Justice Arthur Engoron, whatever, who disclosed at the top of the hearing he was a member of the ACLU. Shouldn't you kind of, excuse yourself? Isn't that like a direct conflict of interest? But whatever. I'm sure it's probably difficult to not find a judge in New York, especially where, the ACLU is headquartered, or have one of their headquarters, to not find a judge that's affiliated. So I don't know. And Gorin emphasized that nothing about his being a member would pose a conflict in the fee dispute. Oh yeah, no, I'm a member of that, but no, I couldn't possibly compromise that. Nothing would possibly be a conflict of interest on my behalf. I would know. I'm a judge. ACLU's lawyer, Stephanie Teplin, from the firm Patterson, Belknap, Webb, and Tyler. Well, we know that the ACLU... Why did they have to charge out to another law firm? Okay, we know that they at least have 2 lawyers on staff, so why do you need another law firm? I don't get it. Argued that $86,253.26 was reasonable reimbursement for production costs and expenses. Are you retarded? Literally, okay. If they came in with hand trucks, okay, banker's boxes full of documents, I'd understand. If this was like a 7, 8, 9 month long trial, okay, where you had box after box just full with document after document, just tedious research into finding all of these old documents and stuff instead of just some specified documentation, they didn't get everything that they were asking for, okay? Johnny Depp's side didn't in this one. The ACLU refused to comply on a couple of different areas, but that's neither here nor there at this point. But they were supplying documents for somebody who is a spokesperson for gendered violence, okay? I don't think that roster's too terribly deep, and I'd imagine they probably have all of the documents pretty close up to the top, so it should be a fairly simplistic job, but you took advantage of this process, okay? Just like Amber Heard took advantage of Johnny Depp for all those years, tried to spend all of his money, but guess what? Those purse strings are pulled a little bit too tight. Thank you, Ed White. And Gorin compared her prestigious firm to a Cadillac, when all he said was needed for a simple discovery dispute was a Ford. God, I hate these out-of-touch fucking elitists. Could have just said simply, why didn't you get an intern to do that? And it's like, oh, okay, cool, no, I want to be flowery, but at least use the domestic comparison. Telpin noted that Depp sought thousands of documents spanning a 6-year time period, and New York law provides for a reimbursement of reasonable production expenses to a non-party in litigation. Yeah, exactly. Reasonable. But still, $38,000, I'd argue, but that argument didn't seem to move Justice Engoron and his law clerk, Allison Greenfield, who noted that Engoron upheld the original scope of the subpoena. Wow, imagine that. He just went and seen, it's like, okay, what did he ask for? What did they get? How much would that have taken when looking at the breakdown? Because the breakdown's in here as well, like I said. Okay, they got a lot of lines and shit, and that would just waste everybody's time to go over it, and who went over what, and how long that took that. It's all itemized, and it's all broken down, so that's just a nice little summation of events. But I'm sure if we probably parsed through that just a little bit more deeply, we'd seen probably some very substantial foot dragging on some stuff, or maybe just some questionable decisions, like why did you have your senior partner take a look at, I don't know, some deposition transcript from back in the cut when they're only asking for some other stuff. But regardless, it's all settled at this point. Noting that he did not follow Depp and Heard's blockbuster trial closely, it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? Law and crime. You guys bought your fucking access. That's why all of the search results for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard first and foremost came up with Law and Crime, and then Law and Crime's hundreds of fucking clips after that. Christ almighty. Their coverage of this trial put everybody else to shame. Well, I guess that's what good money gets you, I suppose. Changing up their thumbnail style to keep current with the kids. Christ, they were covering this like The Quartering does with Brie Larson. Even still, Engoron coyly asked how the ACLU got embroiled in the Hollywood legal battle. Telpin did not answer that one directly, but her adversary did. Depp's lawyer, Jessica N. Myers. This lady with the frizzy hair, I do believe, okay, from Brown Rudneck, called the original request for fees exorbitant and unreasonable in a legal brief. Myers opined that the judge's final ruling was fair after he pronounced it. Yeah, that's all right. It's still a lot of money, but probably, yeah, no. It's a reasonable reimbursement for a rather light amount of work. Okay, during oral arguments, Myers argued that any comparison would be unfair given the ACLU's role in the editorial that led up to the Depp and Heard case. Yeah, no, exactly. They're the ones who practically, wrote the article that Amber Heard attached her name to. Okay, they had multiple drafts of it, some of which include Johnny Depp by name, and them and Amber Heard's counsel at the time bounced it back and forth, and then at the end of the day, she had the final say on it. So yeah, sucks to suck, I guess. They were responsible for drafting and placing the op-ed that the Virginia jury found to be defamatory to Mr. Depp, Myers said. The defamation trial between Depp and Heard revealed the ACLU's role in crafting and placing the editorial at issue in the lawsuit. Yeah, exactly. And you'll also note that they didn't go to just some tertiary rag. That was in, repeat after me, the Washington Post. On December 18th, 2018, the op-ed ran under Heard's name in the title, "I spoke up against sexual violence and I faced our culture's wrath that has to change." Her bio, why didn't you guys say Washington Post though? On cucks, man, never change. Her bio described her as the ACLU's ambassador on women's rights. Same editorial now contains a lengthy editor's note disclosing a Virginia jury found that 3 of its statements were defamatory, including the headline. Yeah, it's funny, right? Mr. Depp should not have to compensate the respondents for the involvement in tortious conduct. Fair enough. Good argument. Behind Heard's byline, the trial revealed that several lawyers from the ACLU and her legal team, they carefully crafted it to avoid naming Depp or even explicitly claiming that her ex-husband abused her, or so they thought. No, and oh my God, I'm sure that there's probably a bunch of board members for the ACLU that work within the confines of the law and crime extended family. Dan the Cuck Abrams himself is probably a part of that cabal, so I don't know why they just aren't being honest about their big fucking cash cow. Oh, that's because I guess everything just came back down, okay, to reality. You take a look at some of the trials that they're covering right now. Oh, we're still putting on our great coverage. 2.8 thousand people might be watching at any given time, okay? Ah, man, you really do hate to say or you have to call it out when you say that maybe somebody's kind of, artificially pumping up their numbers. Maybe they're having the algorithm help them out, but really seems patently obvious when you have a direct comparison out there. Just saying. Instead, the editorial stated that Heard became a public figure representing domestic abuse. Do we have to go back over this shit? Okay. I don't think so. Okay. ACLU's attorney denied the implications that the group was a tortfeasor. No, that's exactly what you are. The term for someone who commits a tort. Oh, wow, thanks for clearing that up. That's not what's at issue in the specific case before this judge right here. They're just about, you guys are trying to charge us an egregious amount of money for what you did, and, we need to work on a compromise here, because I think their counteroffer, Johnny Depp's side's counteroffer, was $1,000. Thanks for your time, get fucked, okay? So they were playing for keeps. Which kind of seems like that's just their overall strategy when it comes to dealing with Amber Heard at this point. You took advantage of me for this long, okay? And then you got up to the line. I kept receding, okay? And then we got to the edge of this cliff. I got pushed off. I climbed back. But guess what? No fucking farther. Depp's attorneys argued that Heard used the ACLU to burnish her credibility and that the civil rights group hoped to reel her in as a major donor. Yeah, no, exactly, because right after the divorce was finalized, like it says here, when her divorce became finalized, Heard pledged to donate. Yes, pledged, heavy emphasis on pledge, to donate her $7 million settlement to 2 charities in full, whatever. Half to the ACLU and half to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. Great, wonderful, fantastic. So she ended up stiff in this sellout organization like the ACLU. And sick and dying cancer kids. She's a great person, okay? But she takes a wonderful, candid photo op now, doesn't she? Depp's attorneys made Heard's failure to follow through on those pledges a central part of their case. Not really. It was just meme to all fuck. It wasn't that long of an interaction, but Amber just wouldn't give up her framing of the conversation. So was it central? Nah, it just really drove home without the need for a really stilted analogy like a Cadillac and a Ford, you fucking elitist. No, Amber Heard likes to twist words, okay, so drill down on that. ACLU General Counsel Terrence Doherty, yes, that half a fruit, testified that Heard donated only $1.3 million. Au contraire of her promised $3.5 million, mostly, completely, through their wealthy third parties like Elon Musk. Yeah, and then the $100,000 that Johnny Depp flipped over to the ACLU and the Children's Hospital because she wasn't fulfilling any of her pledges. But I donated it all. I didn't want a thing. Internal ACLU emails revealed that their staff also pitched the editorial to the Post. Oh, what? Now all of a sudden we're mentioning the Washington Post? It almost seems like this article has been through a certain amount of redrafts that are out there because, yeah, no, all of a sudden, I unless I missed it, I know we skipped ahead a little bit, but yeah, I don't see anything about Washington Post here, but all right, cool. Fantastic. It looks like we can just reference things, okay, by their in-group names, okay, via an email stating that Heard was beaten up by Johnny Depp, which looks like a jury of her peers believes never really happened. Didn't provide any evidence. I got pictures. You've got fucking edited pictures, you stupid ass. The indirection of Heard's editorial ultimately didn't protect Heard legally. Yeah, no, you should be going after those lawyers because you suck. The jury found the op-ed defamed Depp by implication, and yes, now he can continue to dance off into the sunset, but it's not like he gives a fuck about any of this stuff. He just gets his lawyers to deal with it. He's got another court case coming up, which it looks like is just as sus as this one, and it should be over fairly swiftly, but he won't be recovering any sort of damages off of that one, because who the fuck is that guy? He's just somebody who's at the end of his career, just trying to latch on as well, so best of luck to you, pal. Hopefully that works out for you. But Depp, who knows if he's going back to Pirates of the Caribbean? Who knows if he's going to be in Beetlejuice or an Edward Scissorhands sequel or something like that? Knowing what Hollywood's going to be doing, it's going to be another sequel or a remake or something like that. And Johnny Depp right now, in-demand actor with probably the best goodwill of anybody who's going to be out there. It's like him and Tom Cruise, and it's like because of the overwhelming success of Top Gun Maverick and, you know, just the bankability there. It's like there's nobody hotter in Hollywood right now, so strike while the iron's hot. And hey, it looks like City Boys, we up by about 50K. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.